beautiful people. I'm Babz Rawls-Ivy. Welcome to LoveBabz, LoveTalk. Harry was late this morning. That's why I'm late. I appreciate all the texts and the emails. We are late. Harry made me late. Send your emails to Harry.
Harry was late for a change.
It wasn't me this time. Thank God. What's up, Harry? Today is my mother's birthday. My mother would have been 80 years old today.
80 years old?
Happy birthday, Margaret. She had me when she was 23.
Happy birthday. I'll be right back. Hold on.
Harry treated my show like a step show. And I don't mean a historically black college Greek event. So yes, today is my mother's 80th birthday. And my brother sends me a picture to remind me, as if I have no idea. You know, I'm my mother's firstborn. I had to tell my brother, I do know this. I'm her firstborn child. Harry, you have lightning. Harry, why do you have lightning behind you? Are you Jewish? Are you controlling the weather?
They should have this at the debates.
When people overtalk.
Yep.
And today is Markeisha Ricks's mother's passing 2-year anniversary. So I want to hold her up in prayer. When your mother passes, it's a tough thing. Whether it was yesterday or 20 years ago, it's a tough thing. So yes, let us remember those women that gave birth to us, that gave us our wings, and who still rock with us forward. So yeah. So what is going on, Harry? Have you seen the video with the guy on the trail with the mountain lion?
No, I did. I saw that WNHH was not WNHH, WTNH was going to show it this morning, but I was running late, so I was doing stuff and didn't catch the story. Is that in Connecticut?
I don't think it's Connecticut.
Oh, because I know people have said that they've seen mountain lions in Connecticut.
No, this was some trails. I want to say California, but because it didn't look like fall.
Well, yeah, fall is in right now. Just look behind me. I'm standing right in the middle of fall.
Harry, you're standing in the middle of romance, the forest of romance. Harry, it's time for me to get dating. I'm going to work on my profile. All my friends are dating well. Well, not all of them, but by the end of this month, people will have made connections. I'm going to make a connection too. It's time. It's time, Harry.
So, COVID dating.
Oh, don't remind me.
It sounds very interesting. It's like dating.
Oh, you just bust my bubble. I forgot.
It's like dating during the zombie apocalypse. You don't know who's going to show up. A regular person.
Oh, Harry, you just depressed me. Now I'm like, oh. Okay, you're right. You're right, Harry. You're right. Yeah, but there's got to be a way to do it. People are doing it. I'm going to do it.
I can just hear my wife say, Harry, shut up. Leave Babz alone.
I'm gonna start my profile. I have to, Harry. Everybody, I'm like, listen, I'm amazing. I should be. This is cuffing season. I should be cuffing.
Yeah, well, I hear horror stories. My brother, my older brother, he's 56, and he's trying his his online dating stuff. And
wait, I'm 57. Is your brother cute?
He's my brother.
I don't know.
Well, we're polar opposites.
I might like that, Harry. Does he have integrity and honor?
He thinks so.
Uh-oh.
He thinks so now. Very judgmental person right now, and I know him.
Oh,
so
no, I know.
no, so I know
He
him.
won't like me at all.
You're too strong.
Oh, well.
So I know him, and he acts like I don't know him, like I didn't grow up with him. So all the bullshit he talks, I'm like, maybe he thinks I'm new to to his life or something.
Like, does he know I know him?
Yeah, it's like, come on.
Oh, Harry, that is too funny. That is too funny.
You gotta love people like that. I have quite a few of them in my life, in my family, who pretend like as if I don't really know them, and they try to sell me some bull.
Oh, oh my God. Well, well, well. I'm
But
looking for.
but he's had some really interesting experiences. Um, you know, people showing up to dates and them not being the person in the picture they sent you.
Oh, that happens to a lot of people.
Yeah, so
I don't know how people think they're gonna get by that. Like
it's like you putting up your daughter's picture.
and my daughters are adopted. I look nothing like them, so that would be ridiculous.
Right, but putting up your daughter's picture and then you showing up. Like, what happened to you?
We have guests at 9:30, Harry, and then we'll continue our funny conversation after our guests. I'm excited. Richard Parent and Paul Listro both had long careers in media, primarily in television and film production. Richard as an attorney and business affairs executive, and Paul as an accountant and finance executive. So they're avid patrons of the arts with a keen interest in theater, cinema, and literature. Harry, I'm gonna see if I can recruit them to be interested in Long Wharf Theater and the Arts Council in New Haven.
I always get confused with this name. Julia Gambala, Gambale,
Yes.
She says that the lightning is perfect, sap when they're over 2 minutes.
That's right. So Richard and Paul reside in Short Beach community in Branford, and they are owners of Breakwater Books, which is a charming bookstore in Guilford, Harry. I was in there just the other day. I was in there on Sunday when I met up with Andrew to go have lunch with him and his mother out there at in her estate.
Did you guys social distance?
Yeah. No, we do. And are thrilled and humbled to carry the torch of the culture asset of the Shoreline community. It's a charming bookstore, Harry, Breakwater Books. I was just in there Sunday. And they're a lovely couple. They're married, Paul and Richard. So I'm looking forward to talking to them. Yes, we social distance. Andrew's mother is very serious about that. So we sit outside because she's got a lot of, she's got like a lot of land. So we sit outside.
You could, if you decide you're visiting me, I'm perfect with leaving you outside. Leroy Smith says, "Hello, Babz. Keep up the great work."
Hey, Roy Smith. I don't know who that is.
Leroy Smith.
Is he single? Are you single? I need an army of people, Harry, to like find me a boyfriend. I need a boyfriend. I need an army of people to find me a boyfriend.
Well, let me just say that real men need to apply. Not if you fake.
That's right. Harry's going to do all the screening. So if you send me some foolishness, they're not going to get through because Harry's going to do all the screening.
I will do a serious background check.
You will be vetted as if you were running better than the president of the United States vetting.
That's right.
we ain't playing. We're not playing, Harry. Right. I need a boyfriend, Harry. It's time. Don't you think? It's time.
I'm kind of not the person to ask because I haven't been without a person for so long. So I would be lost I would be completely lost without my wife. So
I think it's time now. I fooled around enough. All right. I've been kind of fake dating. Now it's time to like really date, like for real. That's all. Like I need companionship. Like I'm not trying to do anything beyond that. I just want to test ride a few people and see what's happening. But we'll see.
well, you
I
see,
want to give it a try.
I told my brother that what he needs to do is fake video chat with people. Don't don't go by their picture. Tell them before we go any further,
Get on this video.
let's do this video chat because I need to see if you're actually real. This way you don't waste your time. You're 2 months into a conversation and go, oh, let's meet up. So,
and that's how these people get catfish and all this other kind of foolishness. But when I was when I had a matchmaker and a dating coach, they were like, if you meet somebody you like, get in the room with them as soon as possible. Like don't get into these emotional phone conversations because you can get in these emotional conversations with people.
Well, this real thing as chemistry, right? So if when you get into a room with somebody, whether you
I think you're right, Harry. I think if you're attracted to somebody or not. I used to didn't think that. I used to think you could grow into it. But as I gotten older, I just feel like you either know you dig somebody or you don't. Yeah. Look, we got people in the waiting room.
Oh, we do?
The little sign pops up now, Harry. Go ahead, Zoom.
Really?
Paul Listro entered the waiting room. So I could admit him.
Hold on.
You see it?
Wait, you could admit it. Try letting him in.
Oh wait, it disappeared now.
I'm gonna make you the host from now
on. No, don't do that. But it went. The little thing went away, so I don't know where it went.
Oh well, yeah, I don't see him in the waiting room though.
He was there because it said he was in the waiting room. Huh?
Oh, you got the
little note,
the Google notification, but they're not in my waiting room, so just
all right. Check Harry, because you got this thing where you might not know.
Oh, Babz Rawls-Ivy is the host. I made you the host by mistake. That's why. So they're your waiting room. So if you hit participants at the bottom, you should see them.
I don't see them.
So they probably entered and left.
Yeah, they might have. All right, I want them to come back. Or maybe they thought it was too early. Or they was just testing it out.
You know what?
You want to take it back?
Yeah, I'll do it. I'll take it back and I'll make us both host, co-host. I'll make co-host. Yes.
I'm excited for this conversation. This is a charming bookstore, Harry. If you're ever in Guilford, you should stop in. Breakwater Books. They're right next door to a little market, which is a little interesting space too. Where you can get food and then it's right across the street from the Green. I was telling Andrew, as cute as Andrew is with that beautiful head of hair of his, and now he's got a cute dog, Harry. He could be on the Green picking up chicks. White women like men with dogs. Black women too. Let me not say white women like men with dogs too. Black women like women with dogs too. He could really pick up women with that cute dog and that beautiful head of hair.
What I women found attractive when I was younger was walking around with my children.
Oh, well, Andrew, he'd have to walk around with grandchildren.
Oh, there you go.
We see you, Paul Listro. Good morning. You're on mute. So you have to unmute yourself. Good morning.
I just unmuted you.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
I know that I can see them looking at when I see people new to this and they look at the camera, they look at the camera as if they're looking in a window, right? Like, good morning.
Good morning. Nice to see you.
Good morning, Paul and Richard.
I'm Paul, he's Richard.
I already gave up your bios already. Thank you, Harry. Harry's our producer. So, he hangs out with me when I don't have guests. And but he's gonna go do producing things. So we're gonna have a nice conversation. How are y'all?
Good. Doing good. So far, so good. How are you?
I'm fine. I was in the bookstore on Sunday. Y'all weren't there. You had a lovely young lady working.
Veronica. Yeah, we take Sundays off as a rule.
Nice. Oh, good. You got boundaries.
We have boundaries. We
just
have
barely.
Yeah.
No work boundaries, because what happens is, something can take over your life, and then you wake up one day and like, oh my God, when did I like not have a life?
Well, we got a lot of that when we bought the store. Friends were like, "Oh, you're just gonna be chained to a bookstore?" Nope, we're gonna hire people, and we're gonna have a schedule, and we're gonna have a life.
Yes. Now, how long have y'all owned the bookstore?
It'll be a month.
A year. No, a year.
I'm sorry. A year this month.
October 25th, it'll be a year.
All right. So you moved to Guilford. Have you always lived in Guilford? Where are you from?
Oh, no, we actually live in Brantford.
Yeah.
Brantford.
Yeah. We live in Brantford. Where are we from? So going way back, I guess, I mean, I grew up in Oregon mostly. And I was born in upstate New York, and we moved around a bunch. But then for about 10 years, I grew up in Oregon. And then I went, when I was pretty young, to NYU to when I was 18. I moved to New York, and then I lived there for many, many years. Then I moved to LA, and that's where I met him.
Oh.
And, yeah.
And we met in LA in '99. And I actually grew up nearby, a little town called East Haven, which is 2 towns over from...
I know East Haven.
Yeah, that's where I grew up. So my whole family is there still. I went away to Los Angeles for 18 years. We moved to New York together in 2005 and lived there full time. But we had a weekend place in Brantford. And then 4 years ago, we bought an old home that we fell in love with. And we thought, let's change it up and live there full time in New York part time. And let's buy a bookstore. So we did that.
I'm just like, see, this is the part where I want to know about the bookstore. Like, did you walk down the street and say, hey, there's a for sale sign in the bookstore? Like, how did that happen?
Well, I think, what we always said, what kind of business would we really like? And we were like, oh, a bookstore would be great. It was just kind of a fantasy. And then we were talking to somebody about buying a different bookstore. That didn't work out. It took several months, and that didn't work out. And the day we found out that wasn't working out, our agent called us and said Breakwater Books was for sale.
Yes, that's a good story. That sounds like my adoption story and my children.
Really?
Same thing. Yes, I love. It's just circumstance, right? I
mean, literally, the timing. We were a little disappointed about the other bookstore, but we really didn't think it was going to happen. And we had other ideas. We kind of kept our day jobs, even though we quit our corporate 12-hour day jobs. We're still doing kind of what we do in media, but we wanted our own brick and mortar, something we could say we run. We thought about a wine store, but that didn't work out. We looked into a couple of things and decided that's not how we wanted to spend our days. And
the hours are too long.
And yeah.
Yeah.
But this came up, and I've known this store my whole life, having grown up nearby, and it's on the Guilford Green, which is just this,
just lovely.
New England Green, all kinds of shops and restaurants here, and it's been here since 1972. And we're the 4th owners, so. It has a built-in audience. Guilford loves this bookstore, and we've come to know a lot of people here in Guilford, our regular customers very quickly by name, what they want, what they like, and it's a whole bunch of people, so we're having a good time.
So when you bought the bookstore, did you change any of the footprint? Like, did you go in and say, what, out with this carpet, in with this? Like, did you change it?
The carpet, but that's another story.
Yeah, that's a whole undertaking. We didn't change a lot of infrastructure. The prior owner gutted the place and made it more open for events and such, and that was great. But we wanted
updated a lot of systems. I mean, they were, but before she took it over, she owned it for about 3 years. They were still doing bookkeeping on a ledger on paper.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I was like, that's not going to fly. But yeah, they have a proper accounting system. But she opened up the room, and we love it, but we wanted to kind of increase inventory, add new categories to the store. So we had these bookshelves here commissioned to do just that and just fill the place with books, but those have wheels on them, so we can roll them out and
good.
Which is
now
cool.
You have notes on the books. Like when I was in there on Sunday, I realized you had and I didn't get a chance to really read because my friend Andrew Kaplan, I don't know if you know, I think you know Andrew.
It's familiar. Yeah.
He comes in there quite often. He's an avid book reader, and so I didn't get a chance to read some of the notes when I was in there. And then the first time I was in there, I was in there with his sister. That's when I met y'all.
Yeah, I remember that.
I was in there with his sister, And so you have notes on these books. Are these your recommendations? Are these a little synopsis of the book?
Yeah.
What is that?
A little of both.
A little of both, yeah.
And that's something that was a tradition that was before us, and
Right.
And it continues. It's mostly the staff. I mean,
Yeah, they're called shelf talkers. Most bookstores do that now.
Yeah.
Our staff or one of us sometimes will write a little synopsis, stick it in there. They also come though from we're members of the American Booksellers Association, and they have something called
it's called Indie Next.
Indie Next,
and they also send you printed ones too for particular books that they're part of this Indie Next program where they're promoting books. And Indie First is something where books get certain awards, you know, for being, and they're voted on by independent bookstores.
Yeah.
And so those are sent to us by the ABA. So it's a little of both. It's some of the Indie Next recommendations and then the store recommendations. Yeah.
So now indie bookstores are enjoying its own kind of renaissance right now.
Yeah.
For a minute, the big box stores really knocked independent bookstores out of the way. But now people are really wanting a bookstore in their neighborhood, a bookstore that's community focused, a bookstore that they can just go to and run into friends and family and that kind of thing. So talk a little bit about because it's a risky business to take on a business that can be eaten up by a big box.
For sure, and that's one of the things we considered. You know, we did research this, and we kept joking, well, buying a bookstore will be a quick way to starve to death. But research was showing that because of the Amazon and Barnes & Noble, or maybe in spite of them, indie booksellers were getting a rise for the reasons you described. People wanted a more personal experience than they can get. Barnes & Noble is awesome, but it's a big corporate store. This is Paul and Richard on the Guilford Green, and other independent bookstores around are like that.
And people are looking for books and to read, but they're also looking for community and places where you can go and talk to somebody run into somebody and talk about books or talk about other stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So we kind of, you're right, it is a risk, but we thought, if this trend continues, we have an opportunity not only to enjoy ourselves every day at a bookstore, which we do, but to increase profitability. Why not? And so it's kind of working out. There's a large bookstore in the next town over that's lovely. There's a Barnes & Noble 5 miles away in another town. New Haven has a couple of little independent bookstores. But we're kind of in this general coastal community here in the Guilford, Brantford area.
Yeah, and I think Brantford. That's the other thing is there's no bookstore in Brantford, so that helps us too. Because to get to the bookstore in Madison, you have to pass us. So I think it's close. Yeah.
So how do you pick books? Is it your personal taste? Are you reading the New York Times bestsellers list? Are you taking recommendations? Like how do you shop for books? What is that process?
That's a big time consuming process. But I mean, I think one, we look at the New York Times every week. I read the New York Times book review cover to cover, and then we have a website that gives us statistics on how many other stores carry peer stores. So independent bookstores in New England, how many carry a certain book and how many sell a certain book. I mean, that's hard. Those statistics are hard to use when a book is new because, a lot of stores may have bought the book, but you don't know if anybody's actually buying it yet. But we still use those to give us an idea of if a book is likely to sell. And we do that when we're ordering books way ahead of time. So we meet with publishers. We meet with about 15 publishers 2 to 3 times a year. So
wow,
all year round. And we have to go through their catalogs, and their catalogs are, often set, for example, one of them was 17 pages and each page has 50 books on it. And you have to go through those and determine based on, there's certain statistics because it's on a website. It's the same website with our data about the other bookstores. And you can see, what the first printing is. So that shows how much confidence they have in the book. So some of it's just knowledge of certain authors, you're going to get. And then it's our personal taste, what we want in the store, and then what we know the community wants.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. Is some of this some of your gut? Like, do you say, the statistics are not giving me a good read on this, or they're not favoring this book, but I really think if we carried this book, people would really.
And it goes in both directions. Sometimes the statistics really favor the book, and we know it's not going to sell in our community.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit of both. It's definitely gut and knowing our community and what they want. And it is kind of throwing stuff in there that we like, that we read 15, 20 years ago and put it on the shelf, and then someone buys it and you're thrilled.
Yeah.
You know, that's actually the most
That's
fun.
really gratifying when you buy, or when you take a chance on a book that you think has low numbers, you think somebody in this community is going to buy it, and then you get it in 2 days somebody buys it. You're like, yes. But there was something, the other way we order books is, people come in and they order books specifically from a special order.
Okay.
And when they do that, I always say, well, maybe we should have that book in the store.
Yeah.
Let's check it out. And often we end up carrying books that customers recommend because they come in and order it.
Yeah,
too.
so you learn from the community, and that's kind of cool. Like, you should have this. And yes, we should have that.
Or they'll
And
come in and order a book specially, and I'll say out loud, maybe we should have that.
Why didn't we think of that?
Why did we have it already? Why didn't we have it already? Yeah.
Now, you all are a married couple.
Yes.
Do you feel the pressure to carry books that speak to the lesbian, gay community? Do you feel like
the book?
uniquely feel like you have to?
Yeah, I mean, the store definitely already had its own LGBTQ plus section. We've added to that and significantly and put it front and center. It's important to us that we represent that community and all communities. We're a bookstore. We're neutral. We're not here to push our agenda of politics or anything. But we're gay men who own a bookstore, and it's important to us that that's kind of front and center as well, without being the gay bookstore.
Yeah, and also, if people see those titles in the window, they know they're welcome here. Gay and lesbian, LGBTQ people are welcome here. For example, a woman came in last week because there's this, Alison Bechdel, the graphic novelist, and she had a strip, and it was in like independent newspapers for many years called Dykes to Watch Out For.
Yes.
And they put a compilation of that book out. And I was like, we have to get that. And we put it in the window, and this woman came in just last weekend or the weekend before.
Oh, she was thrilled.
And she said, oh, I love that you have Dykes to Watch Out For in the window.
She didn't buy it, but she was happy with it.
She didn't buy it. Did she buy anything?
No. That's rewarding as well.
Now, are there books that you absolutely won't carry? Like, is there a line that says, you know what, I'm not carrying books by Nazis, or I'm not carrying books by white supremacists, or I'm not carrying books by, whatever. I mean, is there a line, or do you just take the stand that, there's an audience for every book?
We probably wouldn't carry certain books.
Yeah.
Like if there were books, I wouldn't really carry a book by a white supremacist.
No.
We wouldn't.
I mean, nothing that promotes hate, really.
Yeah, we don't. There are people that come in and order books that we don't have, that are that are not in keeping with our thinking, but we order them for them. And we do get complaints sometimes. We've gotten emails saying you don't carry enough conservative titles.
Whoa.
Yeah. We've gotten that by email. It turned into a whole conversation.
A long conversation.
A long one. I responded and I said, listen, I said, thanks for your email. We carry the following titles by conservative authors in the store. And I listed like 15 titles. That might be exaggeration. Maybe it was 12. But I listed a bunch of titles and I said, if you can't find something you want, we're happy to order it for you. And the woman responded, "Thank you so much." It turned out she was raised in, I can't remember if it was Hungary or it was probably Yugoslavia, because that had the worst regime, I think. But she was raised in a communist totalitarian regime, and she didn't like the idea that there was only one point of view, that multiple points of view weren't allowed, and apparently hers was conservative. So, but it turned into a positive exchange.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So talk to me about the business of running a bookstore. Like, what is that like? Are you concerned about, are you doing well? Number one, are you doing well? Could things be better? What does that look like?
Well, I mean, we'll never know really what our first year was like, because our first year included a pandemic. We were closed for 9 weeks. Richard and I were fairly much alone. We had our office manager and our bookkeeper were here a couple days a week doing their jobs, thank God. But we were here very busy, thanks to our community, selling books by phone, email, curbside delivery, even driving around delivering to some of the older folks, which was very rewarding. But since we've really opened up again on May 20th, things have gotten better. You know, during that time, we had just before we closed, we had gotten to the point where we, you know, got to where we wanted to be in terms of infrastructure and adding inventory and categories, and then boom, we had to close. Then we opened up again, and people started to talk that, you know, the store has got more, and you should come. And so sales have been good. I got to knock on something. Sales have been good, and you know, we're pretty comfortable and happy with what we've done. I mean, you know, I'm an accountant by vocation. He's an attorney. We've been running other people's businesses for decades, and we thought we can do this. And we started small. We're not producing movies or television shows for ourselves. We have this little bookstore, and so with that business acumen and those experiences, we were able to kind of come at this from that angle, you know, and we both kind of have fallen into our respective kind of like talents.
Yeah, but I do worry a little bit that that, you know, the sort of the push to increase inventory has gone a little overboard.
We're running out of room.
We're running out of room. One, and two, I think, you know, a lot of publishers, because of the pandemic, they pushed publication dates of books because they didn't want them released in the spring when no one was going out.
Yeah.
You know, well, it's a strategy. Other books sold like crazy during that time because, you know, big doorstopper books that people could spend, you know, days and days reading. A lot of them sold really well during that time. But you know, you order this stuff way in advance, and you know, I was trying to order more for the store, but then all these publication dates got pushed into the fall. So now on Tuesday, the publication day, every Tuesday is the day when new books are released. I'm like, sometimes I'm like, oh my, did I really order all this stuff? And some of it I look at and I'm like, why did I buy that?
Did we buy that on purpose?
Did we buy that? Was that a mistake?
But yeah, it's you know, we take you know, we do a little social media blast every Tuesday. It's New Release Tuesday. And it's gotten to the point where we just can't fit all these in one picture. It's ridiculous. So we get a little creative and, you know, and set them up. But, you know, people who follow us, they get every Tuesday that this happens. And it's kind of exciting, but we're kind of like, we used to have a lot of face out books. Now everything is spine out, which we're kind of happy about because it looks more like a cozy little bookstore, like a library, but we're bursting at the seams here.
Yeah. And we, you know,
Christmas is coming.
You order, well, that's it too. I think for the holidays, I think it's good. But, you order stuff, you know, you get one of the things we got in the, you know, in a delivery, and I ordered it 6 months, we ordered it 6 months before. We got this book called Sushi Cats.
Sushi Cats.
Sushi Cats, The Mystery and the Magic.
Yeah.
And it's little cats that are on rice and wrapped like a piece of sushi.
Yeah.
And then we also bought the magnets.
It's almost cruel, but it's so funny.
The magnets that go with them.
Sushi cat magnets. Can't keep them in the store.
And it's sold. That's all I'll say.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And that's one of the things we first bought the store, like we're not doing candles and potpourri and scarves and earrings.
I was gonna ask you, like, how does that accessory life work for, because you know, I go to some bookstores and there's all everybody's got their own vibe. And you know, to your point, I've gone to bookstores and bought candles and incense and lotions and
it's a lot more to manage, really. I mean, all of this, you know, receiving and stocking and selling takes physical effort, right? And we have a very small product section, you know, conveniently located right by the register, so people just buy stuff that they didn't know they wanted. But we don't have much. We have, you know, stationery and cute little things like the Sushi Cats, and just quirky stuff that we think is silly. Puzzles, Lord knows. Puzzles were big during the quarantine, during the lockdown. So we've kept that going, you know, and you know, it's working.
And then, you know, we buy, now I'm not going to remember, but we buy things that, you know, I know will sell in this community. Like there's a game, is it Dryer's English? The English sort of rule book, but there's a game you can play, you know, it's you know, about rules of grammar, which, you know, I was like, this community will buy that book. But then also we buy stuff, you know, like Sushi Cats or Friends tarot cards.
Yeah,
with the
TV show Friends.
From the cast of
yes,
on tarot cards. Yeah.
There's also things, you know, we
drag queen playing cards.
Drag queen playing cards.
Yeah. Oh, I got to look for those when I'm there.
You know, we bought, you know, this Star Trek calendar or Schitt's Creek calendar. No one's bought them yet, but it makes us happy to see it on the shelf. So that may not be the smartest sort of like, you know, business decision, but you know.
Although it was space travel posters from NASA.
Cool. Yeah.
It's these kind of very graphic looking large calendar, and we sold out. I mean, we didn't buy a ton of them, but we've already sold them all. We're buying more, but these, because you can.
That's one of those hit or miss. We thought, oh, this is kind of cool. No one will buy it, but we'll dig it. Then people latch onto it for unknown reasons, like Sushi Cats.
Wow. Now, do y'all have book clubs? Are there? Because I know there are some bookstores that are home to various book clubs. Like somebody will say, we'll meet here for our little book club. I mean, we can't gather now, but have you had any interest in people starting book clubs out of your bookstore?
It was something that had happened here in the past, and we didn't really jump into that just yet. And then again, when we finally got our feet under ourselves and were finished with our infrastructure, we closed. There's a couple things, book clubs will, sort of use the store as their kind of point of, this is where you get the book, go to book, we're on the list and this is what we're reading. Breakwater knows, they'll have them ordered. We have not hosted any events here yet. We thought we might do that book club of meetings.
We've hosted other.
We thought we might do that once we got to the place where we can easily clear out this room. But again, we kind of closed right after we got we're able to do that. We're exploring it. What's kind of different about us is we're kind of a two-man band and we have a very small staff. Some bookstores have marketing departments and CFOs, neat things like that. It's Paul and Richard, so. We're kind of juggling the few live/virtual events that we have this year for book events. And, we're just easing into new things, at this point. And the short answer is not now, but maybe soon.
Not book clubs, but we have had events, and we've had events even since the lockdown, because we've had a few outdoor events.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And we have one tonight, actually. Yes, a guy named Milton Brasher Cunningham wrote a book called The Color of Together.
Yes.
And he's the husband of the minister at the First Congregational Church.
Yes, I'm a UCC girl, so
okay.
I know, yeah.
Yeah, and Ginger Brasher Cunningham, you might know her. She's the pastor, and his book was just released yesterday, and we're having an event. There's a barn area behind the church. It's a big open area. And so it's a short, he's going to read a little bit from the book and, talk about it, and then he's going to sign. But, it'll be, with all social distancing and masks, but it's going to be, we have like 50 people signed up for it.
Oh, good. Good.
Yeah.
Well, I want to ask you one more question, because I know you guys have a business to run. And I'm going to let you go. But do you think much about expansion? Is it too soon to think about expansion? Do you think about other bookstores? Do you think about, we'd like to have a bookstore in, Madagascar. We'd like to have a bookstore in, Maine. I mean, do you allow yourself that kind of dream?
It's funny, Paul probably doesn't know this, but a friend of mine who's teaching drama at an international school in India right now, she forwarded me some advertisement she'd seen somewhere to run a bookstore in, I think, the Maldives. They were looking for someone to come and run a bookstore. I think it was the Maldives. Anyways, she forwarded this to me, and I was like, well, the problem is who's going to run the bookstore back in Connecticut while we're all running the bookstore in the Maldives? But it sounded great. I was like,
my wheels are already turning. I mean, you didn't tell me this. We're moving to the Maldives? Okay.
I love it.
It's a good question. I mean, this building that we're in, it was built in 1749. Is that what it was? It's the oldest building on the Guilford Green, and it's tiny.
Wow, I didn't realize.
Shop next door as part of the building, and there's a one-bedroom apartment upstairs. If we ever expanded, it would be if the tea shop decided to close or we bought this building, but that's even not much. That's another maybe 400 square feet.
Or
as far as another location, or upstairs. As far as another location, yeah, at this point, it's been a year. We've learned bookstore, and we feel like we're doing well at bookstore. Ask us again in a year. We'll see where we are.
So, what's your story of
Absolutely
your adoption? I want to hear that.
Oh, I have well, when I was married, we were going through the IVF. We were going through all the infertility stuff, and the day that I just decided to stop, so I took all my. And that time I was married to a man who was an executive in a transportation industry. And so I had these high-end infertility drugs. So I just gave them back to the doctor. The day that I took them to the doctor and I said, listen, I'm done. I can't, I'm done jumping through this hoop. So I got a call from an adoption agency, and they said, we have a newborn baby. And we'd like you. We want to give you this baby, but you have to let us know within 24 hours if you want this baby. So I understand serendipity a great deal. And so, yes, so that baby is now 19. So, so we said yes. So I understand when one door shuts, another door opens, you know.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, and you think that that's, you know, kind of a fantastic kind of way of thinking, but things like that actually happen. And that's how we knew when we got that text. I remember exactly where we were sitting. We're like, we're buying Breakwater books.
Yes. And it probably was quite easy. Like,
it was a lot easier than the bigger.
Like the process was pivoted from the other thing and moved to this thing, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it was, you know, it was also about, you know, meeting the prior owner. You know, it was her decision. She had to choose someone who she knew was going to keep at a bookstore and who she liked, and you know, we got along.
And she thought would be able to make it a success.
Yeah, and we got along from the first moment we sat down with her. And she works here. She's like, I want to spend more time with my adult children. I can't do that and own this bookstore, but I still want to be here. Will you keep me on? Sure. And so she's still here.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. So one last question, and then you guys can go bookstore. What do you have a bigger dream for the bookstore? Like, what is your dream? Like, what would you like the town to embrace, or like what is it that you want for this bookstore?
I don't know that we want anything more. I mean, we're just glad that they welcomed us in, and we did ask the former owner. You know, it's like, we're a couple of gay guys from New York. We don't really know this town. Are they going to run us out of town with pitchforks and torches? And she said, no, they're going to love you. And she was right. I mean, you know, they've embraced us. So we've kind of, not to say that we're done and we've achieved all our goals, but it just feels good to come here every day and just be welcomed by this community and have them come in and, you know, spend their hard-earned money on a book. You know, it's that was the goal, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess, you know, our first, you know, well, I think it's everybody's dream. Our first dream is to, you know, get through this pandemic and on our feet, and then hopefully have the bookstore, continue to grow and thrive and be maybe a little more self-sustaining, and that we don't have to, we're not sort of building it up anymore, but just sustaining it. You know? And I think having events. I mean, that's one thing. We were supposed to have some really exciting events.
That were booked for March that we had to cancel.
Yeah, that we
really
had to cancel.
Like
we were supposed to have David Allen Sibley, this book, What It's Like to Be a Bird. And that's a bestseller, a nonfiction bestseller. It has been for months. And he's from Guilford, actually. He doesn't live here now, but he grew up here. And that was going to be a really big event for us, and we had to cancel that. So, you know, that's a goal.
Events are fun. I mean, that's kind of like something it's nothing like what we did in our old careers, where we get to host an event and talk to an author about his book. You know, that's cool. And we'll get back to it soon, I hope.
Well, thank you so much, Richard and Paul. I enjoyed this. The Breakwater Books is at 81 Whitfield Street in Guilford, and they're open now. They've got some good hours. They have a website. Go and check them out and order books, buy books, and just go and hang out. It's a good space. I love it. And I think I'll make it a destination every time I come to Guilford to just pop in.
We'll be glad to see you. Yeah. Thanks so much. This was great. Really grateful. Thank you.
No, thank you. I appreciate the conversation. Y'all enjoy your day.
You too. Thanks so much.
All righty. Take care. All right, Harry. We're going to take a break. We're going to take some station identification, and then we'll come back on the other side. Thank y'all.
Bye.
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 Babz Rawls-Ivy from New Haven, Connecticut, and you're listening to WNHHLP 103.5 FM, streaming live at newhavenindependent.org. night, spinning to the wheels keep spinning, wheels keep spinning, wheels keep spinning to the morning light, spinning to the wheels keep spinning, wheels keep spinning, wheels keep spinning to the morning light, spinning to the wheels keep spinning, wheels keep spinning, wheels keep spinning to the morning light, spinning to the wheels keep spinning to the Man, that was fun. Hi, I'm Babz Rawls-Ivy. Welcome back. Hey, Harry, that was good. I enjoyed that.
You know, I'm working on stuff for tonight, so I wasn't listening.
Oh, wait, it's tonight the debate, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I have to make sure. Make sure I show up.
You know, it's been a bad, I think, about 18 hours for me, right? Because there was stuff I was supposed to work on last night. And then this morning, it's just, I don't know what's going on. My clock is off. So last night, I didn't work on anything. I fell asleep. Then this morning, woke up late. Thought I set up everything here. Went downstairs. Then when I came back up, nothing was set up. So I'm a little off right now. So I'm behind.
Wow.
Yeah, unusual for me, but.
Wow. Well, you know what? These COVID times are making everybody a little wacky.
Yeah, my clock is off. I'm hoping, my clock isn't off on for the debate tonight because I'm the timekeeper. So it's Winfield versus Bartlett.
Oh, is that who's? I forgot. I knew it was Gary. I forgot about Bartlett. Oh boy. It ought to be fun.
So it should be fun. And then next week it's Taubes. I think his name's Alex Taubes or Tobbs.
Tobbs. Yes. I'm doing that one too, aren't I?
Yeah.
Is that the 21st? What day is that?
Yeah, the 21st.
And what time is that?
Same thing, 7. So that one is, who is Alex? Oh,
Babz, yeah.
Looney.
Okay. Are these the Senate debates?
Yeah. That should be fun.
Wow.
I love debates. It's something I just love. I was in New Haven yesterday. Well, you know that. I was in the studio yesterday. And Joe called me. By the way, he's saying you keep avoiding his phone calls.
He called me one time.
I'm not sure. Right. I'm not sure if he's saying the truth when he says that, because Joe is like, if you don't answer him back, he gets offended. Like, his calls are the most important calls in the world.
He'll be all right.
Yeah, I know. That's what I do. And you know me. you go, call me back. I'm like, yeah, okay, but I don't call. You know, Paul tells me call me back, and he has to call me again. I'm like, oh yeah, because if it doesn't ring important to me, it just that thought just floats away.
I have so many things going on. It's just a lot.
Yeah.
It's
So
a
anyway,
lot.
so Joe passed by yesterday. He said, "Oh, you're in New Haven, so I'm gonna pass by because I want to do an election show. I want. I think he's calling you because he wants you, Markeisha, um, possibly Paul, even though Paul wants to stay out of the limelight right now. He wants to do an election show November 3rd. Um, so he wants, broadcast it on WNHH and on Ugly Radio and on Twitch and all that stuff. So I think that's why he's calling you. So we sat down to talk about it, and me being me, Joe being Joe, we started debating about politics, and he lost his mind. He lost his mind. He said, "That's it, and I'm leaving," and he just took off. And everybody in the office is like, "What's wrong with Joe? What happened?" I said, "He's not used to me anymore." We've been so, this 7 months to 8 month period where he's not used to debating with me made him lose his mind. He ran out of the office basically without telling anybody bye. I'm like, yeah, I have that effect on some people. But it was crazy. It was hilarious. He just started screaming, top of his lungs, like a nut.
I'm not so sure I want to be on debate. Like, I don't want to. I'm hosting the debates, and that's it. Like, I don't really want to be on election night talking about elections.
Yeah, talking about as the vote comes in, state. You don't want to do that. Yeah, for me personally, I'm trying to stay out of this debate thing. I mean, not debate thing, but like when we try to restart pundits. I'm trying not to, because you see Joe's reaction yesterday. It's vitriolic. It's just
as much as I miss pundits, my heart is not in it to do it, to try to recapture what we did. It was fun what we did, and it was groundbreaking, but my heart is not in it to resurrect it that way.
Yeah,
I like to still have conversations about politics, but in a different way.
Well, we did it. We did a couple of shows, and I stood out of the whole conversations on those pundit shows, and I was asked, "What's going on?" Right? I'm like, because it just seems like a show that you want like-minded people talking. If it's gonna be me always throwing a bomb into something,
like I'm not doing that.
I'm not doing. I don't want to do that anymore. So
yeah, I mean, I think it was fun because it was different, but now I think we're just like,
yeah. I mean, I've been trying to restart my show, and it's just been hard. It's hard. It's been hard to do it. It takes a lot to be bombastic.
Particularly when you don't feel like you want to be. So
right. So I'm trying to, and I saw the effect the last election had on a lot of people. A lot of people I know, a lot of people I care about. I saw the effect of the last election. And like I told I was gonna say a name, but like yesterday I spoke with somebody, and I told them that if Trump loses, I'll be fine with it. My life still goes on. I won't lose sleep over it. And I'll be happy for them because I seen the torture that they've put themselves through for the last 3+ years. And he was like, what? Um, you're not gonna. I said, no, I'm not gonna lose it like you did. Um, Politics, my life doesn't revolve around politics. I have other things that in my life that I care about. So I'm not gonna do this. If Trump loses, I'll congratulate you. I'll even let you do a Super Bowl dance and rub it in my face because that doesn't affect me either. I don't get affected by other people's emotions. So I said, even though I didn't do that when Trump won, I understood. I actually stood away for 2 weeks. I actually stood away from Davos and New Haven Independent for 2 weeks because I knew the effect it had on people. And I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to come off as if I was rubbing anything in anybody's face because look, I work with great people. I work with great people. You, Paul, Lucy, Tom. These are people who are really, good people, right? But still, I knew the effect that election had on people. So I stood away. I wouldn't do, first cause no harm, right?
Yes, Dr. Droz.
So that's what I tried to do, and that's what I will do this time. If he wins this time, I told him I might take a vacation. So that we don't have to talk about it. Now, if he loses, I'll come in and take everybody's, giggles and mocks. I'm okay with that. I'm just an average man with an average life. I work from 9 to 5. Hey, hell, I pay the price. All I want is to be left alone in my average home. But why do I always feel like I'm in the twilight zone and I know it feels like somebody's watching me? Who was that? That was the one hit wonder.
That's Barry Gordy's son.
Yeah, and Michael Jackson sung the backup for him. That's Michael Jackson singing.
Yeah, he's like he didn't want to do it, but he got goaded into it.
So yeah, you're right. When you say like your heart isn't into fighting over
stuff. No, I'm in another place now.
I was gonna say as am I, but I'll be honest. I still love debating, but only debating in good faith, right?
Yeah.
So I don't want to debate just to mess with somebody's head or with their emotions, being that so much is on the line for everybody right now. So no playing with people's heads, even though I think that's what Paul likes. He likes for Harry to throw grenades.
Yeah, well, he might feel differently these days too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
this is big. This is big coming up. I was watching the hearings yesterday with Coney Barrett. I'm, for the first time in a while, I'm proud of the senators, and how they're behaving. They're speaking their piece, almost like what I was saying. You're speaking your piece, taking your stand, but without trying to do more harm than good. And I appreciate that from both sides, that they're not playing around right now. So I'm trying to do the same thing. And by the way, my wife tells me My wife tells me a lot of times, leave people alone. Like when people post on my page stuff about Trump or whatever, policies, stuff that they really haven't researched or don't know, I will set them on fire usually. And I'm trying not to do that either. These are family members and friends.
Okay, Harry.
who aren't exactly political animals like I am. So treating them as such isn't good. They're just the average person, you know, going by what they see and read in politics. And I shouldn't expect them to understand everything that's going on. Am I growing up? Perhaps I feel like I'm growing up.
Well, I think you know what? Everybody has these moments of growth. we all have these moments of
Well, I am drinking milk. And milk does the body good. I feel as if I'm growing. Got milk?
we just do the best we can.
No, I'm trying. I mean, yesterday I did go in on a family member who was calling me names.
Why? Who's calling your names?
Well, he's a family member. He could call me whatever he wants. So and I don't call people names. I don't play that. So I went at him with facts more than anything, and at the end of it, he said, "I don't care about the facts." I said, "Oh, well, okay, this conversation's over. It doesn't even matter then. Just call me the names, and we'll move on."
Just string them along, Harry. Be like, okay, just give me the list of names, call me them, and then let's move on.
Just call me the names, and we'll move on. If facts don't matter, facts don't matter. So what's the point of a conversation?
Oh boy. Yeah, see, no, I'm done. I just, you know what? I like to take a long holiday somewhere. Even though I just came back from Maine.
Yeah, it would be nice. I mean, to come back after the elections, right? After all this political stress is gone. But I have to be honest, it's not political stress for me. I love it. I'll sit for hours catching up on the hearings yesterday. After I got home, I sat in Bella's room and I caught myself up on the hearings and stuff like that. I really do love gobbling up the information this way. This way, at least I know what is going on and what I'm talking about. So it's just gobble, 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 gobble. I love info. So I am a political animal like that.
Well, this is what I want. I need the Harris Biden ticket to win. I need Jamie Harrison to win. I would love for the woman going against Mitch McConnell. I would love for her to win. What is she? Is she a Air Force captain, Navy SEAL? What is she? She's something.
She is former military, and
but she's like I think she's a jet flyer. So, but she's pretty badass.
Supposedly her chances are pretty good.
I like to see. There's just some key races I like to see win because we as a country we have got to come from out of this nightmare. These 4 years have been a nightmare abroad, here and abroad, and we just really need to. I mean, I think that's what is really wearing people's nerves is our good standing in the world has. There was upon a time we valued intellect and I mean we just don't seem to value those things anymore, and this administration is just a reflection of that. And the measuring rod for me is I would never want my children to grow up to be like any of these people, not the president, not the vice president, not any of these people in this cabinet. I would be ashamed if my sons spoke about women, or treated people the way that these people. I would be ashamed. I would feel like I fell down as a mother, as a parent, if I heard my sons referring to women in my presence the way that these people have referred to people. So I think, that coupled with a pandemic that is, we seem to be the only ones in the world that can't seem to handle this thing. Third world nations, for God's sake, have done a better job. My girlfriend in Somalia, who runs a hospital in Somalia, they're doing a better damn job in Somalia, where they don't have jack. And they've seemed to kept the numbers of the pandemic way down, just basic stuff. And I was like, how did we get here? I know how we got here. I just want us to leave now, ready for us to leave. So for that, my unease is really around that. Like, we need a new day, and I'm ready for a new day. I hate the fact that this woman is sitting for a Supreme Court justice lifetime appointment. Like, that just should not happen. It just shouldn't happen. And here's a woman who said that being called the N-word in and of itself is not creating a hostile work environment. And I'm thinking, for who? Like, the person being called it, or the person doing the calling? The person doing the calling, I'm sure it doesn't create a hostile work environment, but the person being called it, there's just so many things. The good thing is, I'm going to go have lunch with Rev Kev today at the yacht club. So I'm looking forward to that, and put on some fall clothes. I'm going to feel warm and cozy and happy. That's my TED Talk. Thank you for coming. That's my TED Talk.
No, and yesterday they kind of co-opted the notorious RBG. They're starting to call her notorious Amy Cole.
Who's calling that? Who? The Republicans?
Yeah,
do they even know what that means, Harry? Like, are they just saying it because they like, do they even know the foundation of that?
Notorious ACB.
They don't know the foundation. They're just saying it.
Well, they
had to listen to Biggie. Their heads would fall off. You know what I mean, Harry? Like, they don't, I'm not convinced that they know what they're saying.
I think they did it to, in order
to just co-op it.
Yeah, to poke at the other side.
Yeah. All right. You listen, go and watch the video of the mountain lion chasing the guy. Well, yeah, stalking the guy.
Oh yeah, I gotta see that.
Harry, listen, these people are crazy. You gotta not be on these trails. It's like, you know what? When you are in these woods, these are your this is these animals' habitat. Right?
Oh yeah, you see it all the time though. That
just like we get freaked out when we see them on our driveways and in our streets. Same thing for them. They get freaked out when they see us in the mountains. And I think she had cubs, and I think she was just trying to protect her cubs. Do you know what I mean, Harry? Like, she doesn't know you're out jogging for exercise. She just sees a human running, and she's like, "Oh, I got cubs. Let me be on the ready."
Yeah, we should actually somehow make these places preserves. Like, have them somehow sealed off where human beings don't bother the wildlife. I don't know. because it
Listen,
makes no sense.
he,
Because
he did the right thing. He slow walked. Because if he would have started running, that thing would have got him.
you know, Babz, I think it would have got me. Because
Harry, all he had was his cell phone. I woke up this morning thinking, how do you, like, you can't, but there was a lot of rocks. I would have just been picking up rocks and throwing rocks or something. I don't know what I would have done, Harry, if that lion would have just like charged me. And there's a few moments where it does like start to take off. And you know, they're fast, Harry, like, and they're powerful.
Yep.
And he's like yelling, wait, Harry, he's yelling and cussing at it. I'm like, now's not the time to invoke Samuel Jackson.
well, that's your only thing, right? You got to try to seem scary to it.
So he's barking, he's yelling at it. I was like, and that mountain lion is like,
Yeah, because if being submissive doesn't work, you have to try to scare it. Those are your only options. Your only choice is to either be submissive, but that may get you eaten, or
well, it's something spooked it, Harry, because it turned around and ran off. So
yes.
I don't know if he picked up a rock and threw it or what happened, you know, but it ran off. And then he stands there and like, listen, if it would have ran in the other direction, Harry, I would have been hauling ass in the other direction. Like I wouldn't have, he stood there and was like talking to the camera and like, he was shaking, but he was like having a conversation. And I'm thinking to myself, I would not be standing there talking. I would be hauling ass down the road in case it comes back.
You have to think like you're in a Jurassic Park movie and the raptors are coming from the sides and from in front of you. So you're like, I'm not running because if there's another one,
they're going to get you.
You're going to get me.
There's no.
So move slowly down the mountain. It could take 3 days.
Ooh. Well, he did. I mean, number one, he was by himself. Number two, there's got to be some things that you could take with you, Harry, to help you fight off or scare. I don't know. Maybe you take one of those horns or something that goes, you know, those horns.
Yeah, but
or a flamethrower or something like.
But like human beings, these animals have instincts too of fight or flight.
Yeah, yeah.
So scaring them might get you attacked too.
Yeah.
So I mean, but that's the thing. I'm saying somehow some type of create wildlife preserves, you know, to where I don't want to cage them in, but
yeah, and you really can't. But
you know, but you don't want them to harm you, and you don't want to harm them. And if that lion would have attacked him, they would have found it and shot it.
Yeah. See, that's yeah.
You know, so you're kind of protecting them by sealing them off somehow.
Yeah. And it was big. Like it was big. It was a big one.
Those things are no joke.
And the way that it like took off to run, and you know, once it gets into that motion, Harry, it doesn't, you know, it takes a lot for them to like stop.
Yeah, just imagine pit bulls are scary.
No.
These are scary to the 100th power compared to a pit bull.
And I was like, first of all, why you want to jog by yourself? But I get it. I mean, you should be able to jog by yourself, and that thing, you know, he saw it and he started walking slowly, and then it ducked into the woods, and then it kind of blended in with the woods, Harry. Because for a minute I couldn't see it. I was like, where is it? And then it like peeked out. I was like, oh shoot.
Well, that's the thing, that's what they do with prey.
Woo!
So they just get quiet, blend in, and then they suddenly attack. So you have to, it's good that he tried to make himself scary, because that's a losing battle there. Once that thing starts taking off after you, you are, you know, you're basically just...
Because he could not have outran that.
No, you can't. You know, I'm always reminded of my daughter who every time we would go hiking or something, she would go, if a bear comes out, Dad, remember, run zigzag.
Yeah, whatever.
Zigzag. She's like, yeah, because the bear can't
Zigzag.
And I'm like, okay, but the bear's coming at a speed that's gonna catch you. So eventually you're gonna zig right into the bear. The bear don't gotta zigzag.
That's like when you're running from snakes, you should run in a straight line. But I'm like, why am I running from snakes? Like, there's no running from snakes.
Yeah, I mean, you should, if you're gonna go hiking and stuff, you should have the bear pepper spray. They have the bear pepper spray.
Does that work?
Yeah, it's the odor and everything scares them off.
Okay.
And those horns also scare them off. But you don't want to get to that point until you think they're actually gonna.
Yeah. Because it's nothing worse than having your horn knocked out of your head. And you...
That's right. And you see some people, like I've seen in California, like two bikers, and all of a sudden they get attacked by a mountain lion. And the one, actually trying to save their friend by hitting them with their bike and stuff. And some people have saved their friends and stuff. I'm like, if I see a mountain lion coming, I'm not even gonna notice that my friend got taken until I get to the bottom of the mountain. Cause it's like Saddam and Gomorrah. I ain't looking back. I'm just gonna keep going. But yeah, there's a lot of you gotta either protect the people or protect the animals, whatever it is. Leave their sanctuaries alone.
Yeah, that's yeah. There's got to be. We got to stop building into their spaces, Harry. Seriously, and I think we've got to stop trying to be in their spaces as though we have some right or privilege to be in their spaces.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
But we're building more and more houses in their spaces. So imagine it's like you saying, you know what? I bought 2 acres right in the Bronx Zoo. Yeah, right in between the lions, tigers, and bears. That's what we're doing. We're moving closer and closer. Like the bear I saw.
Let me see.
It's in the woods.
Harry, these bears are sophisticated. They know how to open your door. They know how to come in. They know where the refrigerators are, right? Like they just.
Yeah, they even know how to say delivery. They ring your bell, delivery.
Oh my God! Like no, like no, I can't. I just cannot. Yeah, no, it's a real problem. And if we want, wildlife, we got to respect it. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not on to them. It's not on them to stay away from us. It is on us to stay away from them.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So, is the weather better today? I hope so. You're not in New Haven today, right? You just went just for yesterday.
Yep, just went to do some stuff and set up levels with a couple of things.
All right.
It was something that every time I go, I miss being in the office.
I know.
And of course, I had maybe like 4 political debates yesterday, which made me very happy. So
you missed it.
Yeah, I missed all of that stuff because it's like I'm home. Ain't nobody to debate with. And
because Karen is like, I'm not here for that.
Yeah, Karen gets home and she's like,
I don't want to hear it. I'm like, Harry, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear it. I feel you. So yeah. Well, maybe you could go down once, every so often, so you can feel like, you get a little bit of that in. That might be nice, to get a
Yes.
little bit.
So tonight is for moderators. I think you guys. It's Norma, you, Tom, and a reporter. I think.
From the register?
I think so. So it's going to be interesting. There's only 90 seconds to answer, 90 seconds to respond.
Well, 90 seconds is a lot. So what, a minute and 30 seconds?
Yeah.
That's a lot, Harry. You set your watch, set your time clock, and sit there for 90 seconds. That's a lot of time.
I think instead of ringing the bell or the buzzer, I'm just going to go, time! Time! No.
Okay, you have to do like the moderators in the presidential debate. Call them by their name. Mr. Bartlett. Mr. Bartlett.
Yeah, I'm gonna be like
Mr. Winfield. Mr. Winfield.
You guys agreed to these rules before the proceedings, and you're going over your time.
Like, don't make me bang on my laptop, Harry. Like, don't make me look at them and be like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" Yeah, and it's only an hour, right? So
yeah, it's only an hour.
I know, because I have some other I have another commitment of time, but I'm gonna commit to this, and then I'm gonna jump on my other thing, jump out, come do this, and then hopefully come back to the other thing. Hopefully. So.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds good. I like them, so.
Yeah, I mean, they're necessary. Did we put up an announcement? Like, how will people know? Because I think Paul said something about he was putting up an announcement.
I heard he was putting up an announcement too, Babz.
Oh.
I don't know. I haven't checked.
Oh, I thought you knew.
I haven't checked, and I was gonna put something up too, a little video thingy, but actually I'm working on it right now as we're talking, so it might not be ready till a couple of hours before the debate. So.
Oh. You know what, Harry? We don't have any video up. We just have you could just hear us. You don't see us.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because I went to the New Haven website, the New Haven Independent site, and it popped up. I was like, what is that?
Yeah,
I was like, oh, we're on, but we're not on.
I put the music thing on.
Oh, okay.
When we went on break.
Well, you're really not on your game today.
I'm telling you. All right, Beth. So let's get back to what we were talking before.
What were we talking about? Dating?
Yeah, your online dating. So do you have a criteria? Do you have any hoops people got to jump through?
Harry, I know you deliberately use those words. My hoops, Harry. I got to think about it. Because the last time I posted my hoops, nobody jumped through them, or crazy people jumped through them. So I gotta rethink this. You would think I would be much more clear. I think I am very clear.
Well, you know what? You're probably too clear for some people, right? So same thing with my brother. I said, I read his profile, and I said,
send me his profile. Let me see what he says.
I'm like, who in the world do you think you are? You're not that much of a catch, bro.
Oh. Are you saying that because you're his brother? Are you saying that? You can't be objective.
I'm like, you're not that much
There's no objectivity. You grew up with him. You see him in his, in his Superman underwear. Like, you can't.
I'm like, you think you're God's gift? Are you crazy? Take that off. Take that off. And he's like, but I want them to know exactly where I stand. And I said, you're gonna be standing alone.
Oh my God. All right. What site is he on, Harry? Is he on what site? Which one did he?
I don't know. I don't know. He was on a few that he showed me on his phone when he was here. And I spoke to him the other day, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I got a couple of prospects."
Oh, that's good, right?
But I gotta meet them.
Oh.
And I'm thinking, so you're not doing the video camera? Oh, they don't want to do the video camera. So,
oh, then you know what? Then that's a bust.
Yeah, that tells you everything.
You know, there's a show coming on tonight, Harry, that Whoopi Goldberg is hosting about the con. Tell him he might want to watch that show tonight. You know, it's about this whole, con men or confidence men, right? Who, they prey on women or people who prey on people for gain. I'm going to watch it tonight.
Yeah.
Comes on at 10 o'clock. I'm going to watch. I'm like, ooh, I might have to watch this.
Yeah, I mean, I tell him, he's 56, right? So I tell him, you have very limited options. You need to stop being so picky because you are not that great. So stop expecting other people to be great. You got to stop being so picky. You got to be able, especially when you're looking for love in people who've lived. Stop acting like you're looking for love and you're 30 years old and you think, you're God's gift to woman. These are people who've lived. So you have to respect their lives. If you can't start with respecting their lives, if you think it's all about you, get off of those sites because these are mature women looking for love too.
Yes, that's good advice, Harry.
Yeah. Of course he says it's easy for you to say you're married and you've been. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, but there's a reason why I'm married for 33 years.
Wow. Well.
You have to.
I have to think about this seriously and think about a plan. I need a plan. Because I didn't have a plan before, and then I kind of had a plan. So now I think I just need to, it's not enough to just say I want. I have to create some energy around. What does that mean?
What does... I
know what I mean?
You have to decide what happy means for you at this.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty clear about that. I mean, I'm happy now, like I'm not unhappy, but it would be nice to have companionship, like beyond, in addition to, not beyond, in addition to what I already have with friends.
Right. I mean, that's the thing, but it's saying to yourself whether happiness in a relationship will take away from your happiness now. Would it add, including somebody into your life is a huge thing because
yeah.
You want to share. You want to share your life. If that person is like Harry and doesn't want to share certain things,
Oh, we'll see. I had to give it some thought. I got to find some time to give it some thought. Because I was like, it's time. I do get the sense that it's time to do something. I just don't know what the something is, but it's time. It's time for me to start dating, I think, So we'll see.
I remember my mother in her mid-50s, she decided that nobody else fit in her life. She decided, no, I don't need somebody coming in and, telling me how I should think or how I, trying to explain to me what love is and all of this stuff. So she's like, no, I'm pretty much done. I'm happy with me, so I wake up happy with me every day. I don't need somebody else to do that for me. So I remember my mother, and I was like, "But Ma," she's like, "No, but Ma, nothing. I'm done." Like Bella, I mean, like Daisy.
I'm done. Yeah, I get it. Like I get it. I get it. I think I'm still a little young to get there, though. Like I think I'm a little young to sort of say I'm done.
Yeah.
You know, I think I've got a lot of living in, you know, with someone left to do. I like to do it, and I like to at least be successful at it once in my life. You know.
You know, it's just different, right? When I think about when my mother was in her mid-50s to 60, it just seemed like a different world
It was.
compared to what it is now. 50, 60 is not planning for the end of your life anymore, you know?
Right.
It's different.
No, you could conceivably have 30 more years
Yeah.
of good years, right? Like good.
Right. You could plan on actually being happy for the next 30 years. Where I think 40 years ago or whatever, it was a totally different thing. Your life expectancy just seemed to be different, and your outlook on the the fourth period of your life, or your third to fourth period of your life, was different. You just want to.
And I think women have way more freedoms now than they ever had, you know, than my mother's generation of women, right? Yeah. Like the shit, I mean, the stuff I was going to say, the ish that I do now, my mother would have not done, you know.
Right. It was a different life, different outlook.
Yeah, it is. It's a very, 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 very different life.
Yeah.
So
everything's changing. Okay, we gotta get out.
We gotta go. But we're back tomorrow, Harry. I don't have a guest tomorrow, so you know. So happy birthday to my mother. Happy in memoriam to Ife's mom and Marquisha's mom. So all of that. And we'll be back tomorrow. It's Thursday.
What?
But tonight is debate. So if people are tuned in to New Haven Independent, listen to the debate between Bartlett and Winfield. It's going to be good. It's going to be the thriller on the internet. I got nothing for that, Harry. I got nothing.
I know. I was looking to do a little, like a video where it it gives you, the like that thing in your gut that, oh, I can't wait to see. But I don't know, it doesn't seem exciting.
Yeah, no, like no, there's nothing. I got nothing.
But
yeah, but we'll be there. I'll be there. I'll tune in. I'll ask some intelligent questions. See what happens.
Should be.
All right. I'll see you tomorrow, Harry. Or I'll see you in a few hours. How about that?
People see you.
Thank you, Breakwater Books.